Alright, we're here at the back of my van. First thing I want to say is I'm using my Sony Blogi camera. Again, it's just a little small. It's really small. It's a handheld camera. But the picture quality on it's really good. I've been using a JVC for the last very many videos that I've done. I don't think the picture quality's been as good. So y'all tell me if y'all let me know if this one looks better. Anyway. The main purpose of this video is for my new good buddy PJ here on YouTube, PJ Higgins, I'm sorry. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, check it out. Good stuff. He had a question about some of my tools, and as has several other people here on YouTube. So we're going to start off with the main stuff that I use. We have the S-Man 3 hanging here. And I use those strictly for R22. These hoses have had nothing but R22 ran through them. Then we've got the Testo 550. They're used strictly for 410A. There's been nothing but 410A ran through those hoses. Okay. The reason that I have two sets is because my dad at one time wanted a set of these. So I just decided to let him have these. And I tried these out. He didn't like these because he's too old school, so he gave them back. So that's why I have two of them now. A lot of people have asked me, which one do you like better? Well, that's a tough thing to say. I really like these. Yes, they are a little bigger in there. A lot of people complain about that, but it doesn't bother me one bit. To me, they're not. I mean, they are bigger than the Testo, but it's not that bad. What's cool about these is that they have Target Superheat built in. That's just an awesome thing. But I have another tool for that too. I'm just a tool freak, so, But anyway, these are great too. No complaints. I really like them. Alright, so we'll move on. Somebody else asked me what I use these for. Alright, guys, what I use these for. If I go to somebody's house, and these stay in my service bag. They stay right in my tool bag. If I go over there and I find a bad capacitor, contactor, condensed fan motor, blah, 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 I'll throw those on there. Okay? I'll throw them on there real quick just for a quick check. And see if it's about where I would expect it to be. Now, if I look at it and it doesn't look right to me, and I suspect a low charge or a charge that's not right, I'm going to take these out if it's 22, or I'm going to take these out if it's 410A. So that's why I do that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about superheat and subcooling. Everybody knows that when you're running a piston or an orifice, whatever you want to call it, you use superheat is your charging method. Well, that's what's great about these. When you have these hooked up, let's have some pressure left over in here. Yeah, there we go. You just hit this middle button here, and you go. That's Target Superheat mode. IDWB, indoor wet bulb. ODDB, outdoor dry bulb. Now, for me to get my calculations to enter into that manifold, I use this. The field piece PRH2 pocket cyclometer. This is a very neat tool. You just turn it on and comes up. Right now, well, let me take the cap off of it. You take the cap off of it, it looks like that. It's about 89 degrees out here right now. Then you press this button right here. It's the only thing I don't like about this camera. It's autofocus, and sometimes it takes it a minute to focus. But this button right here it says dB, which is dry bulb, and then WB/DP for wet bulb and dew point. You might be able to see it right there. So you're looking at the screen, switch it to wet bulb. There you go, now you can see it. Wet, you see that WB, that's wet bulb, dew point, and you go back to regular temperature and see, now you can see that dB, WB/DP. So I go inside and I get my information off of this thing, and then I enter it into the S-man. So let's do an example here. That looks like my last measurement I took right there, so we'll just do that. We had a 75 wet bulb with an 87 dry bulb. Keep hitting enter, enter, enter. Target superheat is 30.3. That's what I like about this manifold. That's what's so cool about this. Okay, so let's move on. I use this amp clamp. This is just a clamp, and this is a electronic handle from Fieldpiece. And what I like about this one is I even have a wet bulb thermometer for this. And what I like is it has the max and the min on it right there. So that's what I use for amp draws. Great tool. And then my meter is the Fieldpiece SC76. It has an amp clamp on it too, but I don't really use it that often because I use that other one. I don't use the stick meter, the HS whatever it is, the one like Fritz has and the one like Ray has, AV Treasures. There's a couple other guys on here that have it, and the reason I don't use that meter is because those are true read meters. I just don't like them. It's like they auto range, and I had that meter, and I had a bad contactor on a unit one time. I went and killed what I thought was the correct breaker because that particular customer didn't have a disconnect box. And I always double check my power. So I double check my power with the HS 76 or whatever it's called, that stick meter like Fritz has and Ray has. And it told me that I had no voltage on the contactor between both hot legs, and I even went from each leg to ground. I had no voltage, is what the meter said. And when I stuck my screwdriver on the contactor to undo it, I got the hell knocked out of me. So I came back out to the truck, and I had this one here as a backup. So I came and got the old trusty SC76, put it on there, and it was showing me I had 240 something volts across the contactor. So I threw that stick meter across the yard, and I haven't looked back since. So that's the story on that. My scale of choice is the Fieldpiece wireless scale. This is another great tool. It's just, I mean, it's self-explanatory. This is the remote, there's the scale. It's nothing to it. As you can all tell, I'm a Fieldpiece guy, okay? I know that Fritz and Fritz and Eddie are really big Testo guys, and guys, there's nothing wrong with Testo. Testo makes great stuff, but it's just that where I'm at, there is no Testo. Like, I had to order these off the internet, off of True Tech Tools, because nobody around here has Testo, and I've just been dealing with Fieldpiece since I've been in the business. And to me, when it comes to testing instruments and stuff, you can't beat Fieldpiece. I mean, Fieldpiece is great stuff. So, okay. Here, PJ, this is the one I want you to pay attention to. If you do decide to go Testo, Testo does not have target superheat on their manifolds. The 550 doesn't anyway. I don't know about the higher ones. Fritz and Eddie can correct me on that, but I don't know about the higher end ones, but I know the 550 does not have target superheat. This is a cyclometer. It is a Fieldpiece SR-H2. You can see right there it calculates target superheat and target evaporator exit temperature. So what you do here is, PJ, you take and you turn it on. It'll come on, and you can see it's flashing. It already says WB. See, I'm in target superheat non-contact, which means it's reading right off of here. Now, they make these, and you plug them in. You got these little thermocouples here, or K-clamps, and you, now wet bulb, you have to go wet that sock, and you can plug them in right here, and do it that way. Or you can do non-contact, which you just let it read off here, which is what I choose to do. It's a lot easier. So, you go, and you get your wet bulb. Okay, so let's say we're at a return air right now. Okay, we're bouncing at 77. Let's see what's 76.9, 76.8. Let's just let it settle down there for a minute. And okay, looks like we might hang in at 76.3. So we'll hit enter. Okay, it automatically went to dry bulb. See that? DB, dry bulb. All right. So now let's say we walked outside. We're at the condenser now. Let it settle. Let it settle. Okay, it looks like it's settled. You hit enter again, and then you hit output. Target superheat is 32.3, and that's how I do it on these. That's how I do target superheat on the Testo. And of course, if you got an expansion valve, you're doing subcooling, you don't need all that. You just follow the manufacturer specs. Alright, my next tool is what I use for gas pressure and static pressure. And it is the Mayline MA12835. This is a great tool. I've got a little bit of tubing for it down in there. My static pressure things, they're somewhere in here. I'm not going to dig them out. Y'all know what that looks like. But I use that for static pressure and for check a pressure switch on a furnace and gas pressure, all that good stuff. Now we get into my next tools. These are probably my favorite tools right here, man. I love these things. This right here is the ZebraStat. This is a very, very cool tool. Zach has shown this on a couple of his videos. He's the one that introduced me to it. It's like if you're working on a package unit on the roof and you don't want to have to keep going up and down, turn the thermostat off, to blah, blah, blah. You just wire this sucker up into the unit. And you got cool one, you turn it on with just whatever you got. And you can control that whole unit from this thing right here. Very cool tool. The next tool is another cool tool that Zach also introduced me to. The Universal Zebra, Universal ECM Motor Troubleshooter. So what you got is, you got this thing here. And every adapter, there's all my adapters down there. Every adapter comes with a little chart to follow. It tells you what toggle switch does what. This is adapter A, so there's adapter A. This is for variable speed blower motors. You plug that sucker right in there and you follow that chart and test that motor. And this one here, adapter C, the white one, is for X13 motors. So another very, very great tool. Alright, I want to finish up this video. It started raining yesterday. I had to shut the video down, and one of my buddies pulled up, come over here to have a few cold ones with me. So, anyway, let's go over to the next tool that is another one of my personal favorites in this little black case here. And that would be the Megohmmeter. Very good tool. I've diagnosed bad compressors with this, crankcase heaters. You've seen Fritz use it. You've seen Steven use it. You know, Zach. Very great tool. Anybody that doesn't have one of these should definitely have one of these. Great tool. So I think that just about covers all of my specialty tools. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, I've got the bender and the expander, but I mean, you've all seen that, so. But PJ, buddy, I hope this helps you out, and anybody else out there that's getting into the trade or is looking to buy a digital manifold. I hope this helped y'all out. There you see them again. You can't go wrong with either one. The field piece does some things that the Testo doesn't. The Testo does some things that the field piece doesn't. So it's just whatever you like. You can't go wrong with either one. And as you can see, I got the van all nice and tidy. She's all clean and ready for another long week of good old HVAC service and installs. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped y'all. And thanks for watching, and maybe we'll see y'all one day this week on a job.